Doing first year. Today what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be continuing our work on angles, okay? So we're going to be looking at specific lines today, okay? In particular, the parallel lines and the perpendicular lines, okay? So can you do me a favour just to begin with? Can you put that as a heading just now? And I want you to copy these 3 lines into your jotter just now, okay? So if you want to pause the video just now to do that, that's fine. Right, so these first 2 lines here, okay, you can clearly see if I was to continue these 2 lines on forever, they would never ever touch, okay? They're kind of like railway lines, okay? No matter which direction railway lines are going in, they'll never actually meet each other, okay? So we'll say they 2 lines there are parallel to each other, okay? So write that in next to the ones, please. So the opposite of those, right, so those 2 lines were going in the exact same direction, weren't they? If you picture the next diagram here, you can clearly see this line here is going in the complete opposite direction from this one, okay? So kind of like a road, it comes up to a T-junction. You can kind of see if I was to continue that line on there, it would kind of make the letter T, albeit upside down, okay? But we say that is a thing called perpendicular. Oh, sorry, perpendicular. Okay, so as well as that, but we've also got these 2 lines here, okay? So would you say these are parallel? Well, they obviously aren't because they're not going in the exact same direction. Similarly, they're not perpendicular because you can see from the perpendicular diagram that it clearly makes a right angle in there, okay? So it clearly makes a 90-degree angle in there. Does this one here? That's not a right angle in there, is it? If you were to try and think what type of angle that actually is in there, what do you think it would be? Well, it'd be an acute angle, wouldn't it? Okay, so that would be an acute angle, so that in here would be neither perpendicular or parallel. Okay, so you're going to practice identifying these lines today, and the reason why we're doing that is because the next period that you're in, we're going to be looking at a specific type of angle to do with parallel and perpendicular lines. So if you get very, very good at identifying these 2 lines, then it'll become much easier, okay? So if I was to rub this bit out just now, right, and I was to draw a square in, okay, so try to think something I can draw us with. Say I was to draw a square, albeit it's on its side, but if I was just to draw a square like this, alright? So what a typical question is going to ask you just now is to identify any parallel lines and any perpendicular lines to each other, okay? So I'm just going to draw, first of all, these parallel lines. So think you're only thinking of specific lines, right? So I've got a line down here, a line across, line down here, and another line across there. Okay, so can you think of a set of parallel lines? Well, if I was just to use this red pen just now, that line there is parallel to which other line? But this one over here, wouldn't it? They're both going in the exact same direction. They're both going up that diagonal way, okay? Similarly, can you think of any other parallel lines to each other? Well, I've got this one here at the top, and can you think which one's parallel to that? Which one's going the exact same direction? But this one here at the bottom, okay? So I've got 2 sets of parallel lines here. 2 sets of parallel lines, okay? However, you should probably notice, see that square, if I was just to draw it again over here, something quite similar to it. If I was to draw over here just now, can you also think if that square's got any perpendicular lines to it? So remember, perpendicular lines we're looking for at right angles. So you should kind of see that there's right angles at that point, that point, that point, and that point, isn't there? So if I was to draw in any sets of perpendicular lines, I could start off just by, first of all, call that one there. And this line here is also perpendicular to that, isn't it? So I've got 1 set. I've also got, see if I was just to rub that wee blue line out here just now, and again, see if we went back to that bit there, we've already coloured in that bit there as blue. Which other line there is perpendicular to that line? So I know that one at the bottom is, but what other line here is perpendicular to this line? It'll be that one there at the top, wouldn't it? So I've got another set. Okay, so I've got 2 sets. So it's up to you to look at these shapes and decide how many sets you've actually got. And if you get really, really good at identifying these parallel and perpendicular lines, then this will become very, very easy with you. And the next kind of thing we'll do the next time you're in maths is we're going to be looking at specific angles, I said, to do with these types of lines. So if you get very, very good at them, it'll become much easier, okay? If you remember, see one of the questions in the next page of your worksheet, okay? It's got a thing called a Venn diagram, right? So a Venn diagram looks something like this, okay? So it's got like a circle inside another circle. Alright, so one half of it, if you want to very quickly flip over the page to look at this one, it's got like a set of numbers and letters at the top of it. So just now on the left hand side it says parallel, on the right hand side it says perpendicular. Okay, so you're going to need to look at all the shapes above and decide, right, if there is a parallel line, if there's a shape, that's only got parallel lines, you can put it in this area here. If it's a shape that's only got perpendicular lines, there's no parallel lines, you can put it in here. And if you've got a shape that's got perpendicular and parallel lines, then you can put it in this bit in the middle, in here. Okay, so that one there on the left is only for parallel lines. One on the right hand side is only for perpendicular lines, and this red area in the middle, that one's for parallel and perpendicular. So for example, that square we just done previously, that had parallel and it also had perpendicular lines, didn't it? So that shape there would be right in this middle zone. Okay, so you're going to need to place all of those